In this video, I'll explain resisting arrest and how easy it is for you to be charged with that crime. Now, what do you do if a cop tries to arrest you for something and you know for sure that officer is wrong? Dead to rights, he's wrong, it's got the wrong person, whatever it might be. If you think for 1 second you have a right to resist, you're absolutely wrong. If a cop unlawfully arrests you and you resist, you're going to be charged with resisting arrest. Then you'll have 2 charges to deal with instead of 1. So in this video, I'll explain what resisting arrest is and how best to handle a situation like that if you ever happen to get into it. And I'll also tell you a little known secret about how an arrest actually goes down. Hello folks, I'm Andrew Williams and this is another edition of the Fedora Lawyer. I'm board certified in criminal law and have 29 years of trial experience behind me. On this channel, I'll share my years of experience with you to help you better understand the law and maybe keep you out of trouble too. All right, so what is resisting arrest anyway? Well, almost anything can qualify as resisting arrest. Really doesn't take a whole lot. According to the penal code, you commit the offense of resisting arrest if you intentionally prevent or obstruct a police officer from effecting an arrest. Now, the law doesn't give any clear definition of what prevent or obstruct means, so in that case, they just use the ordinary meaning of those words. But the law does require the use of force for resisting. Now, it doesn't specify how much force or in what way it needs to be employed to sustain the charge of resisting arrest. So force is a necessary element for the charge of resisting. And therefore, words alone are not going to cut it. You can't be arrested for resisting just because you're mouthing off to the officer, calling him names, saying whatever it is that you might want to say to him. That's not going to be enough. Got to be some use of force for resisting. For example, if you jerk your arm away when the officer tries to put the cuffs on you, or you turn sideways, or you prevent him from putting the cuffs on you in some way, or even a step backwards away from the officer, that's going to be the use of force, and that's going to get you charged with resisting. You also need to know that no matter how wrong the officer might be or how unlawful the arrest is, you cannot resist. The law says that the fact that the arrest is unlawful is not a defense to the charge of resisting. That means if you go to trial on the charge of resisting and you try to argue that the officer was illegally arresting you in the first place, you're going to lose. If you do resist and the reason for the arrest is wrong, the charge is simply going to change from whatever it was to resisting arrest. So if the other charge won't hold up, the resisting arrest sure will. So don't resist. It's a lose-lose situation. The question then becomes, what do you do in those situations where the officer is outright wrong and you know the cop is wrong? Cops like the power they have, especially when they have a badge and a gun, and they don't like it when citizens like you tell them how to do their job. So, to avoid making the situation worse and maybe even getting beat up, be compliant. And now here's the secret that most people don't know about how an arrest goes down. Before an officer can officially arrest you, now he can detain you, can put cuffs on you, put you in the car, but before he arrests you, the officer has to call the district attorney on duty to formally make sure the district attorney will accept the charges of whatever he's arresting you for. So the cop calls the DA, tells him what the facts are. If the cop is wrong about the underlying arrest and the arrest won't hold up in court, the DA is going to tell him, hey, that's a bad arrest. You're going to have to let the guy go. You're going to have to let that person go. You can't arrest him for that. And guess what? He's got to let you go. But if you struggle and resist, the DA will just tell the officer to arrest you for resisting instead. That other case won't hold up, officer, but since he resisted, arrest him for that. So compliance is the only option you have. You can always file a complaint later with Internal Affairs if the officer is really bad to you or mean to you. All right, so that's how resisting arrest works. There's not a whole lot to it, but it is important. I hope this information was helpful. If it was, hit the like button for me. If you like getting informative videos like this, you might want to check out this video on how to handle a traffic ticket without a lawyer. Could save you a few bucks. You can also subscribe to this channel if you like. I plan on making lots more videos on all sorts of legal topics in the future. You can also check out my website at andrewwilliamslaw.com. For now, this is the Fedora Lawyer signing off.